Whatever season you find yourself in, I'm presently in the evening. I'm already above 50 and I'm already in the evening season. And that's why there are many things that I can no more do. There are many things that I can no more waste my time on, because I've crossed the half line. I've crossed the half mark and I'm moving on into the next phase and the next chapter of my life. And that's the way you need to begin to think. By the time you are in your 50s, it will be foolish of you to be aligning yourself, to be bogged down with rudimentary, elementary, mundane, unproductive discussions, activities, and aspects of life. It is not a wise use of your energy, of your time, and of your resources. So we need to be wise in the managing of the seasons of our life. Now, this is very, very important, because when you don't know how to manage the seasons of your life, you can find yourself being messed up in your life. So a lot of people, the problem is that when they are in the morning, they take things for granted. When they are in the morning season of their life, they take a lot of things for granted. They play around, they waste time, they waste opportunity, they waste resources, they waste privileges. And then, like I've always said also, a lot of people don't appreciate what they have until they lose it. But that will not be your portion. Many times it's when people lose things that they begin to now appreciate the importance and the value of it, because most of the time when you get something on a platter of gold, when you get something by grace and mercy, you sometimes tend to make light of it because it did not cost you much. But I'm telling you, God is a gracious God, and every gift of grace and every gift of mercy must be received with humility and must be managed with commitment and integrity. Hallelujah. So let's look at some of the principles of financial planning. So we're talking about planning your finances. So in order to effectively plan your finances, there are principles of financial planning. There are principles of financial planning that is very, very important for you to know, that will help you. Let's look at a few of them. Number one, we have what we call the 70-30 principle. The 70-30 principle. Now, let's break it down. Now, I believe if you are ever going to become wealthy and create wealth, then you must never spend all that you earn. Never spend all that you earn. You must live within your means so that you can increase your means, and then you can live anyhow. You live within your means so that you can increase your means, and then you can live anyhow. So 70-30 principle states that everybody should live within 70% of their income. Tell your neighbor, say neighbor. I can't hear you say neighbor. 70-30 principle states that everyone should live within 70% of their income. Now, what does that mean? If you earn $1 million, it means that you should never spend more than 700,000. If you earn 100,000, it means you should never spend more than 70,000. Why? Every time money comes into your hand, a portion of that money belongs to God. A portion of that money belongs to your future. I've said this thing over and over again. Money is tripartite. Money is tripartite. It's called the Trinity of money. Money is a spirit. Money has a soul. Money lives in a body. The spirit of money is Mammon. That's the central bank governor of the kingdom of darkness. Mammon is that which controls your thoughts, your impulses, and your desires. Now, the second part of money is the soul of money. The soul of money is value. That is the value of the currency in the marketplace. It is controlled by market forces. The body of money is the currency or the paper in your wallet or in your purse or in your pocket. So money is tripartite. Money is a spirit, soul, and body. So it's a spirit, it has a soul, it lives in a body. But money is also tripartite in the sense that money has a past, money has a present, and money has a future. What does that mean? Now, what you need to understand is that every time money comes into your hand, a portion of that money belongs to your past to take care of the bills that you have already incurred. A portion of that money belongs to your present to take care of your ongoing obligation. A portion of that money belongs to your future. It's called savings and investment, because there is nothing called future. The future is a concept. The future is an ideology. The future does not exist. It's a concept. It's an ideology. Today is yesterday's future. Today is the tomorrow you spoke about yesterday. So when you were singing that your future is bright, nobody has a bright future. The future you create is the future you inhabit. So if you don't create the future, you can never have a bright future. When you enter the future, there will be nothing in the future. That's why we say the way you lay your bed is the way you lie on it. So when we talk about 70-30%, we are saying that when you make money or you earn an income, stay within 70% of that money. The 30% does not belong to you. The first 10% is called the tithe. The first 10% is called the tithe, or some people call it charity, corporate social responsibility, whatever. Just make sure you are giving back, because giving is living. The hand that gives is blessed. It's more blessed to give than to receive. If everything about your life is all about receiving without any outlet to give, you will die of constipation. Can you imagine eating and eating and eating without defecating, without urinating? You're going to die. So you cannot just continue to receive and receive and receive and receive and receive without giving out. No. The reason why the Dead Sea is called the Dead Sea is because it does not have any outlet that releases water. It receives water from many sources and nothing goes out. So it's a Dead Sea, concentrated with all kinds of stuff. So you cannot afford to be a Dead Sea when you are a living church. A living church is a giving church. When you are a living believer is a giving believer. So you need to give the first 10 to God as an act of worship, in acknowledgement of the fact that it's your source, and you receive grace and wisdom to manage the remaining. Then 20% of your income should be saved. If you don't save, you are not safe. What you save today will save you tomorrow. So you need to save a minimum of 20% of your income. We saw that in Egypt. We saw that principle established in the book of Genesis and Exodus. We saw how that when they went to Egypt, what do we see? We see how that Joseph said unto Pharaoh, let 1/5 of everything in the season of plenty be saved. 20% must be saved. And the 20% that they saved in the 7 years of plenty was able to take care of the entire world in the 7 years of famine. Because when you save and you put it into the right platform where there is interest, after a while, compounding interest will work in your favor and there'll be a turnaround. So 70-30 principle means that you must live within 70% of your means, and then you give your tithe, and 20% is savings and investment. And when you do that, you'll be amazed how that over a period of time, you will suddenly realize that the money you've saved, that you now invest, the money you've saved and the assets you've acquired now helps you to change your life. The second principle is the budgeting principle. The budgeting principle. The budgeting principle is one of the principles of financial planning. And the budgeting principle states that every individual must have a working budget that they use to guide their finances. Every believer must have a working budget that they use to plan their finances. What's a budget? A budget is an arrangement of your income and your expenditure in accordance with your financial expectations. So what do we mean by that? When you say you have a budget, number one, you list your income. What are your income sources and your possible sources of income? Number two, you document your expenditure. What are your fixed costs and your recurrent costs? Fixed expenditure and recurrent expenditure. You document that and you work towards. So if, for instance, you earn $1 million a month, when you earn $1 million a month, you know that that's your fixed income. Do you have other sources of income that are variables? Then you put that as variable income. Then what are the things that you have to do with your money? Then you look at what you need to do. Okay, I need to tithe. So out of 1 million, that means 100,000 goes for tithing. I need to save. 200,000 goes for saving. I need to transport myself to work. I need to give offerings. I need to buy a recharge card. I need to fuel my car. I need to put food in the house. I need to take care of my... So you list all those things. That is your... And then you stick to it. And as you stick to it, that budgeting will help you to be able to plan your finances effectively. If you don't plan what to do with money before money comes, when money comes, it will tell you what to do. And you find that you will make a lot of mistakes because you are not aware of what you need to do. So it's very important for every individual to ensure that they do all they can to have an accurate budget. So you need to have a budgeting principle, a budgeting policy, so that you will stay within budget, or else it's going to be a problem for you. The next one is the savings principle. The savings principle. Now, I will advise you If you were not in church last year, October, when I did the series on developing a savings culture, I will ask that you go to the YouTube channel at CBC Nigeria, or you go to my YouTube channel at Dr. Olumide EMMANUEL on YouTube and go and look at part 1 to 5, developing a savings culture, part 1 to 5, developing a savings culture, part 1 to 5. It will go a long way in helping you and doing a lot of work in your life. So you need to save, and I've said it already, you save. And just go to the series, it will help you. But remember, listen and listen well. Every money that you are going to be paid in your lifetime cannot be paid to you at once. So if you're going to work for 30 years, they won't give you 30 years salary at once. But because money is tripartite, it means that every time they pay you a salary every month, every time you make an income every year or every month, depending on your source of income, inside that money, your past, your present, and future is inside. So every time you spend everything you have, you are already eating your future. So instead of saving money for the future, you are already eating your future. And it is called instrumental death. You are dying instrumentally. You are dying slowly because you are eating your future. And then you suddenly wake up one day to discover that you don't have a future. That will not be your portion in the name of Jesus. Turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, save. Oh. Turn to the other person, save. Oh. Okay, now the next principle is the vehicle principle. The vehicle principle. Now, the vehicle principle is very, very important if you are going to have an effective financial plan. What do I mean by that? Now, if you're going to go from Lagos to Abuja, you have options. You can trek to Abuja, as some people have done for political reasons. Number 2, you can take a bicycle or a bike to Abuja. Number 3, you can take a tricycle to Abuja. Number 4, you can decide to take the train to Abuja. Number 5, you can decide to drive to Abuja. Number 6, you can decide to fly to Abuja. Now, all these are vehicles. Now, listen. A vehicle is a means of transportation from point A to point B. Where you are right now is your present financial position. Where you desire to be is your desired financial destination. Between your present financial position and your desired financial destination, there is a gap. That gap is what we call the wealth gap. Your wealth gap is not my wealth gap. We all have different wealth gaps. So what do? To move from point A, your present financial position, to point B, your desired financial destination, you need to use a vehicle. Now, that is what vehicles are all about. So the person that is trekking will get there or may never get there. The person driving will get there probably after a few hours or after a day. But the person that is flying from Lagos to Abuja will arrive faster than others, not because he's more spiritual, not because there are no enemies in his father's house, not because he's holy, not because he doesn't have enemies. No, he's going to arrive earlier simply because of the vehicle that he used. So if you are going to become wealthy, choose the right vehicle. Many of you need to change your vehicle because, you see, the problem is that majority of people in our world today are in what is called paid employment. Paid employment. Now, paid employment is like trekking to the wealthy place. So there is nothing wrong in being a salary earner, but there is something wrong in depending on salary alone. There is nothing wrong in being a salary earner, but there is something wrong in having salary alone as your only source of income. Poverty will be your neighbor. So it's very, very important, or else you are attracting poverty as a companion. So you need to ensure that you have the right kind of vehicle. So if you are someone that is a salary earner, you need to know that this is just elementary. You are trekking. And it will take you years and decades to get what you could have gotten in a few years or months. So it's very, very important for you to know that. So when it comes to vehicles, there are different kinds of vehicles that you can activate. And when you go through the manual, you get the School of Money book. I've spoken over and over again about the trinity of wealth creation, or the vehicles of wealth creation, and there are many vehicles. But 4 vehicles that I will talk to you about right now that you need to look into is, number 1, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship. You need to consider entrepreneurship either directly or indirectly. Directly, you can step out to start your own business. Indirectly, your spouse or your friends or your partners can step out and go into business, and you can be a partner in that business, either as a financial partner or an equity partner or a silent partner, but you can own and co-own the business together. Very, very important for you to note that. Extremely important. So listen and listen well. You need to know that. Now, number one is what? Entrepreneurship. Number two is what I call money market or money investment. And what do I mean by that? I want to combine the capital market and money market together to say money, investing money. So you can go into the capital market buying shares and stocks of different companies, or you can go into money markets, you go into, shares. Okay, now you go into fixed deposits, you do bonds, you do treasury bills, you do mutual funds, you do annuities. Now, all these are all part of the money market. So you can look at what you can plug into that will help you. So like we said, once you are saving 20%, that's what the savings is all about. Savings is not an investment. Savings is not an investment. But savings is what? Is what you require to be able to invest. So when you save, you are saving so that you can have money to invest. You are saving so that you can have money to invest. Very, very important. So you save so that you can invest. And that's very key for anyone that wants to become wealthy. So even if you're a salary earner, as you continue to apply these principles, you have money to put in bonds, to put in treasury bills, to put in mutual funds. You have money to buy shares. Nigerian stock market has been doing well in almost a year now. As a matter of fact, we closed as the top 5 in 2024. So there are a lot of things you can do now in the money market, and you can begin to put money there. The top thing is real estate. Real estate. And, I don't need to talk to you about real estate. You know that I have a bias for real estate, because as far as I'm concerned, real estate is the only real investment. It's the only real. So you can explore real estate. You can do land banking. A city today was a village yesterday. A village today will be a city tomorrow. I will continue to talk about this land. We bought this land, 70,000 naira, a plot. The first 4 plots was 280,000. But to get to that 280,000, we levied every family. We were raising money among ourselves, levying ourselves. But today, how much is a plot of land? So many of you are sitting down here right now, instead of spending 800,000 on that handset, 1.2 million, 2 million, buying a mobile phone. Some of you have 2. You have 3 plots in your hand. You are moving around with bungalow. Many of you are buying designer shoe, designer bag, designer this, designer that, and you don't have any money that will help to design your future. So what am I saying? Make sure that you go into real estate. A city today was a village yesterday. A village today will be a city tomorrow. You don't wait to buy land. You buy land and you wait. So you can invest in real estate on multiple dimensions. So you can get my book, The School of Money. I documented a lot of things there. You want to go into real estate investment? You want to go into real estate business? Talk to my office. We have the real estate masterclass pack. We have the real estate boot camp, the global real estate boot camp. These are things that have raised multi-billionaires. Many of the people in real estate in our nation today doing amazingly well are my sons and daughters. They are my mentees. Directly or indirectly, they learned from me, and the things they have learned is what they are using. Yours can be the next success story. So that is what you need to understand. Then finally, as part of the vehicles, you can now look into what I call intellectual properties. Intellectual properties. Now, intellectual property is you coming up with something that is your own creation, your own invention. And people have to pay you for using it. People have to pay you for using it. So once you go into intellectual property, I'm an author. I've written over 100 books. My books are translated in different languages, and I'm making money on different levels. So why? Because I am an author. That is my own way. So it's a way of printing money. So you can come up with your own production. I'm a script writer. I'm a songwriter. I produce movies. I produce series. I've done a lot. So you can think of different things you can do. I have all kinds of seminars and trainings and master classes that I've curated, that I've created. I have all kinds of online programs that are running different platforms. Why? Because I came up with my own invention. That is my own intellectual property. So you can come up with something that belongs to you. And guess what? There are many things that are already existing that you can plug into. Everybody uses tissue paper. Everybody uses soap. Everybody drinks water. So you can come up with your own toilet roll line. You can come up with your own sanitary pad line. You can come up with your own soap line. You can come up with your own cream. You can come up with your own water. You can come up with anything that belongs to you that people will have to come to you in order for them to be able to benefit from it. So we can go on and on and on and on. But you get it now, vehicles. And then that will now bring us into the third level, which is the third stop on the journey to wealth, the pathway to wealth, and that is what we call financial discipline. Financial discipline. Now, you need to understand that financial discipline is that which separates between the men and the boys. What separates between boys and men is financial discipline. Anybody can talk, anybody can have desire, but it is those who stick to it and stay to it and stay focused that produces results. And that's where financial discipline comes in.